Geneva's Watches and Wonders 2026 just wrapped up, and the industry is shifting its focus. The era of loud, oversized statement pieces has faded. Manufacturers are finally prioritizing practical dimensions and high-value utility. But this creates a problem if you're trying to figure out what to actually buy. You're looking at an $1,800 daily beater sitting right next to a six-figure grand complication. You cannot evaluate them on the same scorecard. To make a smart choice, we have to strip away the showcase marketing. We need to categorize these new releases based on the actual physical and financial trade-offs they ask you to make. This chart plots out the entire landscape. On the y-axis, we have mechanical complexity, and on the x-axis, we have everyday wearability. Based on these trade-offs, we get four distinct collector profiles: the value pragmatist, the ergonomic optimizer, the stealth wealth purist, and the vanguard. Navigating these releases requires looking past the spec sheets and identifying which of these four profiles actually matches your lifestyle. We'll start with the value pragmatist. If you prioritize robust daily wear and high utility over having a prestigious name on the dial, this is your quadrant. The standouts here are the Alpina Star Timer Pilot at just under $1,800 and the Sin 544 RS coming in right around $2,000. This side-by-side breakdown shows exactly how they hit those prices. Instead of spending millions developing strictly in-house calibers, these brands drop in highly reliable third-party base movements, like Solida or La Joux Perret. You get the upside of modern specs, like a 68-hour power reserve, plus the long-term benefit of cheaper, easier servicing, all while keeping the retail price drastically below the show average. The clear trade-off is the finishing. You are foregoing the meticulous, bench-crafted high horology that you see from top-tier luxury houses. These movements are finished to an industrial standard. This lack of finishing is practical if the plan is to bang the watch against door frames or wear it on a hike. Delicate hand-beveled edges are a liability in a heavy-duty tool. For the value pragmatist, paying a premium for delicate in-house finishing is a wasted investment. Durability is the primary objective. Next is the ergonomic optimizer. You prioritize perfect wrist dynamics and refuse to wear bulky, uncomfortable cases just for the sake of wearing an icon. This diagram shows the classic problem with geometric integrated bracelet sports watches. When you put a rigid 40+ millimeter case on an average wrist, the lugs overhang, creating floating gaps where the watch fails to hug the arm. The industry-wide solution this year is aggressive downsizing. Shrunk to 37 millimeters, like the new Bulgari Octo Finissimo or the long Saxonia at 36 millimeters, the lugs now sit flush against the skin. For larger geometric icons, the alternative fix is material. Tag Heuer took their 39 millimeter Monaco and swapped the heavy steel for grade 5 titanium. Historically, the Monaco has a reputation. It's known as a thick, heavy statement piece, cemented by its masculine racing roots. Shaving off that weight with titanium changes the on-wrist experience, allowing the complex movement to feel much lighter without losing its architectural appeal. The sacrifice here is visual presence. Smaller cases mean compressed styles, and titanium lacks the loud, heavy footprint that originally made these models famous. Ultimately, smaller and lighter dimensions are the most impactful upgrade you can make for a watch intended to be worn every single day. Then we have the stealth wealth purist. You seek ultimate material and mechanical complexity, but you insist it remains hidden from the general public. The Parmigiani Tonda PF Mysterious Chronograph executes this philosophy perfectly. This animation illustrates the engineering. They designed the chronograph hands to stack and slide completely underneath the main hour and minute hands when they aren't in use. The result is a watch that presents as a serene, minimalist two-hander while secretly housing a deeply complex high-end chronograph. This approach requires more fragile engineering and higher service costs, while entirely removing the visual flex of wearing a complicated dial. Rolex took a similar approach with their Day-Day 40. They introduced a proprietary alloy they're calling Jubilee Gold, which blends yellow, white, and rose gold together. Mixing those metals creates a muted, desaturated tone. It avoids the ostentatious status signaling that traditional day-day buyers usually pay for. The stealth purist gives up public recognition on purpose. The satisfaction comes entirely from wearing an engineering secret rather than broadcasting a brand name. Finally, we have the Vanguard. You want disruptive, playful mechanics. You treat watchmaking as kinetic art rather than a strict utility. Moser delivered the peak of this theatrical approach with the Streamliner pump. They integrated a winding mechanism modeled directly after the pump technology found on 90s basketball sneakers. Instead of winding a crown, you physically press an orange protrusion at the 8 o'clock position. Each press manually pumps energy directly into the mainspring. While this protruding pump breaks traditional case symmetry and adds a potential point of failure, it provides the vital, emotional tactility that Vanguard collectors demand. Watches and Wonders 2026 demonstrated that manufacturers are finally offering specialized tools for specific problems, provided you are honest about your primary collecting constraint. This flowchart brings it all together. If your constraint is budget and durability, ignore the noise about in-house calibers and secure a Sin or an Alpina. If your constraint is physical comfort and wrist size, look straight to the downsized Octo 37mm or the lightweight titanium Monaco. And if your constraint is securing mechanical novelty without the visual clutter, the Parmigiani or the Moser are the definitive targets. Ultimately, a successful collection is built for your actual physical wrist and daily reality, ignoring the hype generated by the Geneva marketing machine.